Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. You can leave, Mataji, if you want. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat pranam. नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 रामा राम राम हरे हरे जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जना वल्लभा जय गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरावनचारि जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम जय जगन्नाथ जय बलदेवा जय सुभद्रमाई जय जगन्नाथ जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय गुरुदेव 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 जय जय गुरुदेव निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगल किशोरा जीवने मराणे गति यारो नहीं मोरा राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगल किशोरा जीवने मराणे गति यारो नहीं मोरा राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगल किशोरा कालिंदी रकुले केळी कदंबीरवना रतन बेडीरो पार बोसबोदो जाना राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगल किशोरा जीवने मराणे गति यारो नहीं मोरा श्याम गौरी अंगे दिबो चंदनीर गंधा चमारा धुलाबो कबे हेरी मुख चंद्रा राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगल किशोरा जीवने मराणे गति यारो नहीं मोरा। हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी दंडवत प्रणाम वेलकम टू द ICF फोरम प्रभु जी हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna.
चले
Mataji.
कंटिन्यू द कीर्तन प्रभु जी
Yes, Mataji, I was spellbound. That was amazing. Please continue, Mataji.
हरे कृष्ण थैंक यू प्रभु जी गतिया मला तीरमाला दिबो दोहर गाले आधारे तुलिया दिबो कर्पूर तांबूले राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगल किशोरा जीवने मराणे गति यारो नहीं मोरा ललिता विशाखादि जट सखी वृंदा अग्नाया कोरिबो सेवा चरणारविंदा राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगल किशोरा जीवने मराणे गति यारो नहीं मोरा राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगल किशोरा श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु दासेरानुदासा सेवाभिलाषा करे नरोत्तम दासा राधा कृष्ण प्राण मोरा जुगल किशोरा जीवने मराणे गति यारो नहीं मोरा। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the Guru Parampara. Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Thank you,
Hari
Prabhuji.
Hari
Hare
Bol.
Krishna.
Amazing. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Over to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
We have done Radha Madhav, Prabhuji. If you want to do, you can continue, Prabhuji.
No,
Hare Krishna.
please. I think you have remembered the Lord, and whoever could hear, I'm sure they must have gone into deep absorption of the Lord. So that is the purpose. So we will get started with Mangalacharan prayers. So, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudiraye. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloker Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Sarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakhyam Namami Bhaktashaktikam. हरे कृष्णा। बहुत बहुत स्वागत है आज के श्रीमद् भागवतम के इस सत्र में। आप सभी को मेरा दंडवत प्रणाम। हरे कृष्णा माता जी, हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी। आशा
Hare
करता हूँ।
Krishna Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So I hope you can see my screen, Prabhuji and Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Okay, great. So I have the verses for today on my screen, and I also have the purport. So we can do the entire reading from here itself. And I'm guessing the hands have been raised by the devotees for reading the verses and the purports and the translations. Is that correct?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So thank you for that. Once again, I would like to welcome all of you to this study of Srimad Bhagavatam. We are reading from Canto 4. The title of that is The Creation of the Fourth Order, chapter 12, which is Dhruv Maharaj goes back to Godhead. And the verses for today are 1 to 4, in which Kuvera speaks to Dhruv Maharaj. Those are the 4 verses that we will see today. Hare Krishna. So somebody can read the first verse.
Hare Krishna. Anusuya Mataji, you can read the shloka, Mataji.
Yeah.
Vasudha Mataji, you can read the translation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, pranams. Maitreya Vacha Dhruvam Nivrittam Pratibuddhaya Vishasad Apetamanyum Bhagavan Daneshwaraha Tatra Gatascharana Yaksha Kindaraihi Samstuyamano Nyavadat Kritanjali. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. And the translation.
Vasudha Mataji, Hare Krishna. Can read Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji. Translation Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The great sage Maitreya said, "My dear Vidura, Dhruva Maharaj's anger subsided and he completely ceased killing yakshas. When Kuvera, the most blessed master of the treasury, learned this news, he appeared before Dhruva. While being worshipped by Yakshas, Kinnaras, and Charanas, he spoke to Dhruva Maharaj, who stood before him with folded hands. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. There is no purport, so we move on to the next verse.
Hare Krishna. Meenakshi Mataji, you can read the shloka. Barnali Mataji, you can read the translation. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभुजी दंडवत प्रणाम धनधौ वाच बोहो बोहो क्षत्रिय दायदा परिस्तुतोऽस्मि तेन अनगा यत्त्वां पीतामहादेशात् वैरं दुष्ट्याजम् अद्यजः हरे
Hare.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranams, translation by Srila Prabhupada. The master of the treasury, Kuvera, said, O sinless son of Kshatriya, I am very glad to know that under the instruction of your grandfather, you have given up your enmity, although it is very difficult to avoid. I am very pleased with you. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Dandavat.
There is no purport to the second verse, so we'll move on to the third verse.
Hare Krishna. Archana Mataji, you can read the shloka. Shilpa Mataji, you can read the translation.
हरे कृष्णा प्रणाम प्रभु प्रणाम माताजी न भवान अवधीत यक्षान न यक्षा भ्रातरं तव काल एव हि भूतानां प्रभुरव्यया भावयो हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Prabhu. Actually, you have not killed the Yakshas, nor have they killed your brother, for the ultimate cause of generation and annihilation is the external time feature of the Supreme Lord. Hare Krishna.
One can read the purport.
Anita Mataji, you can read the purport and the next shloka also. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Purport Jai Srila Prabhupada. When the master of the treasury addressed him as sinless, Dhruva Maharaj, considering himself responsible for killing so many yakshas, might have thought himself otherwise. Kuvera, however, assured him that factually he had not killed any of the yakshas, therefore he was not at all sinful. He did his duty as a king as it is ordered by the laws of nature. Nor should you think that your brother was killed by the yakshas, said Kuvera. He died or was killed in due course of time by the laws of nature. Eternal time, one of the features of the Lord, is ultimately responsible for annihilation and generation. You are not responsible for such actions. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. And the fourth shloka.
Hare Krishna Mataji, you can continue Mataji, the next shloka. You can read.
अहं त्वम् इति अपार्थाधिरज्ञानात् पुरुषस्य हि स्वापि न वा भाति अतध्यानात् यया बन्धविपर्ययौ. हरे कृष्ण.
Vasudha Mataji, you can read the translation Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Translation, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Misidentification of oneself and others as I and you on the basis of the bodily concept of life is a product of ignorance. This bodily concept is the cause of repeated birth and death, and it makes us go on continuously in material existence. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.
Hare. Someone can read the purport.
Hare Krishna. I'll read the purport, Mataji, and Hare Krishna. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. The conception of I and you, Aham Tvam, as separate from each other is due to our forgetfulness of our eternal relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Person, Krishna, is the central point, and all of us are His parts and parcels, just as hands and legs are parts and parcels of the whole body. When we actually come to this understanding of being eternally related to the Supreme Lord, this distinction, which is based on the bodily concept of life, cannot exist. The same example can be cited herewith. The hand is the hand, and the leg is the leg. But when both of them engage in the service of the whole body, there is no such distinction as hands and legs. For all of them belong to the whole body, and all the parts working together constitute the whole body. Similarly, when the living entities are in Krishna consciousness, there is no such distinction as I and you, because everyone is engaged in the service of the Lord. Since the Lord is absolute, the services are also absolute. Even though the hand is working one way and the leg is working in another way, since the purpose is the supreme personality of Godhead, they are all one. This is not to be confused with a statement by the Mayavadi philosopher that everything is one. Real knowledge is that hand is hand, leg is leg, body is body, and yet all together they are one. As soon as the living entity thinks that he is independent, his conditional material existence begins. The conception of independent existence is therefore like a dream. One has to be in Krishna consciousness, his original position, then he can be freed from material bondage. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Om Agyantimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Nirvishesh Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam pangum langayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurun Deenataranam Paramanandam Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. Am I audible, Mataji? The sound is fine.
Yes, Prabhuji, but little feeble for me, Prabhuji. And
Okay. I'll try to bring this little closer then.
is it okay for all Matajis and
Hare
Prabhuji?
Yes,
Hello,
Mataji.
Mataji.
I think it should be a little louder, Prabhuji.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
okay for me, Prabhuji. I can hear.
Hare Krishna. Okay, I'll see whatever I can do, I'll do.
Now it's better, Prabhuji,
It's
when
better. Okay, I'm
you.
happy to hear that.
Hare.
Thank you, Prabhujis and Matajis. So, as you are aware, as you have been reading, this the Bhagavatam is a discussion inside a discussion, right? So, there's a discussion between Maitreya and Vidur, where Vidur is wants to hear the subjects of transcendence, transcendental subject matter from Maitreya Muni, and he's talking about so many stories right now. It's about the bhakti of Dhruva, and then how in the later point of time, now Dhruva is self-realized, and during the due course of his rest of the life, his brother gets killed by the yaksha, you know that, and then for the sake of revenge and what is right, what is fair, he goes and he attacks the yakshas, and a point comes where then his grandfather Manu comes and says that, you know, Kuvera may get offended, who is the head of all the yakshas, so you should now give up your anger. And Kuvera appears. So Kuvera appears. So now he is like, I'm very happy to see that, because now Dhruva bows and you know, he stops fighting. And so here a conversation is happening, and first Kuvera is giving him the similar kind of transcendental, he's repeating the transcendental knowledge, just like Krishna did for Arjuna, where he was pacifying him by saying that you should look at the soul. The soul never kills and is never killed, you know, and whatever is happening because of the time. And then at this point he says, see, don't think in terms of my brother and, you know, people under you, this I and you concept. So this is the base of whatever I'm going to present today, because if you see, you know, I mean, let's bring it to our reality, the reality of our lives, you know. If you see these words, aham and tvam, aham is I, tvam is you, and then there is another word that is tat. Okay, so in plain English, if you see, it is aham is I, tvam is you, and tat is that. So what is the great deal about it? If you see it from plain English language, right? I, you, and that. So there is no depth in that. You know, you can pull anyone outside of Vedic culture and you say, talk about I, you, and that. Okay. So it is all on the bodily platform only. It's completely on bodily platform. I, you, and that. What is there? But if you take it from a spiritual view, now, then what happens? What is I? I am not this body. I am a spirit soul. Okay, a very, very deep truth about my existence. It's as if like I'm walking over to a doctor who knows about my disease, even though it's my body and I have it. I don't know, but the doctor knows. Like that, you walk over to a transcendentalist in Vedic culture and he tells something about you that you don't know. What is that? That you are not this body, you are a spirit soul. So this is the depth of that. And the same could apply to the other person, that you are not this body, you are a spirit soul. Okay. Now, what about that? Now, this word that, you will see when this topic will unfold, it will turn what kind of complexity this word carries with it. You will see the depth of that. Okay, it's such a simple word, that. You just refer to this or that, this object, or like ito narsimha, parato narsimha. Here there is narsimha, there is narsimha. So it's like that. Okay, so let's see, let's look at this word tat first, and then we will see why we are talking about aham and tvam. How does tat come into picture? So in simple plain English, that can refer to an object. Okay, that is an object. If we go little more technical, the entire class is going to be technical because it's aham and tvam. You know, we go into the depth of this, only technicalities will come out. So that can refer to an object. And how do you perceive any object in this world? Through senses only. That's why they call sense objects. So what is a sense object? Sense can perceive an object. Okay, through our senses we perceive an object. So that can refer to those objects. For example, eyes can see that, right? Nose can smell that, a tongue can taste that. Okay, so you got the general idea. But then that can also refer to a person. For example, who lifted the Govardhan? That would be you, or that could be me, because we were talking about the kid Govardhan, right? So who lifted him? That would be you. You took Govardhan. No, I gave it to you. Yeah, I could be. Wait, are you talking about that mountain? Yes. Oh, no, no, no. Then that has to be God. Okay. So in a broader sense, what the transcendentalists, what the munis, what the rishis, what the sadhus have said is that anything other than me in this world is a that. Because I am not that, I am I, then everything else comes under one big category, that is that. And now let's try to understand what is that you know I can understand from a very high level perspective. So if you see the one side that we saw was the object part, right? Any object, like I have beads over here, or I have this, the closest to me is Gomutra bottle. Okay. So there's an object. By material definition, this is a limited resource. So there is competition around it. It is competitive. That means this object, either I can have it or you can have it because of the bodily conception. And I don't want it or I want it because of this. This gives rise to duality. As long as there are objects in this world, either I want them, and if I want them, but somebody else has it, then I have a problem. When I want it, that is rag. And if somebody is stopping me from getting it, then I have dvesh. I don't like that. I have hatred or dislike towards that person who, or that law or that rule, whatever is stopping me from having that which I wanted. The spiritual side of Tat tells us that there is existence of Lord, and Lord is behind everything. So that could not only refer to Lord himself, but all everything else also. So we'll see that to define that in a more proper way, how Lord can be entire Tat. Okay, I am not Lord, I am not Tat, but everything else that falls under Tat is either Lord himself or belongs to the Lord. So Tat refers to, why this word Tat becomes very important, because it is heavily contemplated, it is heavily meditated upon it, and it has been meditated upon for thousands of years and millions of years by the seekers of the truth. Seekers of the truth. Okay, so everything and everyone other than me is coming in this that. Let me expand this further. Searching for eternal truth. For example, what is my name? So I'll say my name is Rajat Srivastav. Okay, I am 40 years old. Okay, did I exist 40 years ago? Body did not exist. Rajat Srivastav did not exist. Okay, what will happen when I will die? Rajat Srivastav will die, the name will die. But will I die after that? If we pick up any other object to understand this better, there was a tree. Then the tree was cut down. Now there is no tree. So it was not a tree, or it was tree only for that time. Now you make a chair out of it. So a chair is born. A chair is born. If you call, what is this? Tell me the truth. Somebody will tell you the truth. It's a chair. But then the next Holi comes, and that chair is used for, lighting up the Holika Dahan, and then it's not chair anymore. So I just gave it a name or a designation for a certain point of time. For that time, I'm calling it truth. But is there something in it which is permanently true, which is true forever? This desire of true forever, this is called Sat. I want to find, is there something in me which is true forever, which is eternal, which is everlasting? And the answer comes that yes, there is something in me which is everlasting, which was there before this body came, before I became Raja Srivastava, and even when I will die, that will exist. That truth, which will never change, is called the absolute truth. That is the absolute truth. It will never change. So is there anything common between me and that? Yes. There is something between me and anything over here which is true forever. And what is that? That is divinity. So Sat means truth. Tva is a suffix which means ness. So that means Sattva is truthfulness. The same ways, Tat means that, and Tattva means thatness, or the reality of existence, or the essence of what really it means that, that thing exists. Because things may exist temporarily as something, right? Like I go in a drama, I participate in a drama, and I was Hiranyakashyap for 10 minutes. But then I am not Hiranyakashyap. But I was somebody before the drama, I am somebody during the drama, and then after the drama is done also, I'll be there. So what is that? If you keep cancelling out these temporary designations, what is left? That is the tattva, the real truth, which is unchanging and unflickering, and my definition, right? So what is that absolute truth? So the impersonalist philosophers say that is divine. Are you with me so far? Okay. So that is divine. Then Vaishnavas say, perfect. That's a perfect answer. Then they say, Tat Tvamasi. Tat. That Tvam Asi. You are. Okay. So then we say, no, please elaborate. What does that mean? You are that. Okay, please elaborate. What does that mean? You are divine. You are Brahma. So Krishna says this is absolutely true, because Krishna is saying, Shri Bhagavan Vacha Aksharam Brahma Paramam Swabhavo Adhyatmam Uchyate Bhuta Bhavod Bhavak Karo Visarga karma sangita. The indestructible soul is the true Brahman. Okay. But Srila Prabhupada then gives a clarification where the transcendent, the impersonalist definition goes wrong. They say Tattvamasi means you are God, I am God, everybody is God. So then Srila Prabhupada in the purport of 8.3 immediately establishes that soul is Brahma, but the Lord as super soul is Parabrahma. Parabrahma, right? So I am divine, but I am not that. The ultimate that is the super soul only, because he is conscious of the entire existence. I am not even conscious of my body completely. If I have a disease, I don't know what is wrong. I go to doctor to ask what has happened to me. I am not even conscious of my whole body. The Lord is conscious of the entire existence. So that's why Tattvamasi is true in divinity, in the definition that we are spiritual, but it is not true that we are that entire existence. Okay. So coming to Tattva, Krishna establishes that there is dead matter in this world, and all that dead matter, that is Krishna's energies only. So Tat, anything that you are seeing, that object are made up of Bhumir, Apo, Nalo, Vayu, Kham, Mano, Buddhirevacha, Ahankara, Iti, Yamme, all these 8, Bhinna Prakriti Ashtada. So these are my spiritual energies, my separated energies, and that's why any that you see is a form of Krishna only. Then he says, very next verse, Apareyam itaste anyam prakritim vidhi me param jiva bhutam mahabaho yayedam dharyate jagat. Who is exploiting this inferior energy? My superior energy, my marginal energy, which is aham and tvam. The aham and tvam, me, you and me, we are the jivatmas. The jivatmas are also Lord's energy. So if you are looking at anyone other than you, either they are dead objects or they are living objects, living beings. Both of them are Lord's inferior and marginal energy only. So this is also established. Then what is the problem? Why are we talking about this? Why does it matter? Why does it matter? Why are we talking about that? Why are we talking about me? And what is the problem of bodily identification? So we understand from the scriptures that soul's natural position, our natural position, is that to be loved or to love. But due to the false identification with the body, that means these senses and with this body, with this ahankar, this identification, we start getting attracted to the sense objects. Eyes start getting attracted to sparsh, to darshan rasa, the desire to enjoy by seeing someone or something. Or we start getting attracted to the taste of some sense object through the tongue. Okay. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, because of our meditation, contemplation on the sense objects, dhyayato vishaya pumsam, sangasteshu pajayate. The sanga happens, we start associating with the rasas which are lower in nature, lower rasas. And because of that, what happens? Sangat sanjayate kamaha. Kamat krodho vijayate. So what is the problem? The problem is kamaha. What is kama? From such attachment, lust develops. So lust, let's try to understand if that is a problem. Because our nature is we want to love and we want to be loved. But the problem is that we start seeing lust as love. Looking for love, stuck in lust. Pumsa striya mithuni bhavam etam tayor mitho hridaya granthi mahu ato griha kshetra sutapta vittir janasya moho yamaham mameti. The attraction between male and female is the basic principle of material existence. On the basis of this misconception, which ties together the hearts of the male and female, one becomes attracted to his body, home, property, children, relatives, and wealth. In this way, one increases life's illusions and thinks in terms of I and mine. Aham. Janasya moho maham yamaham mameti. Me and mine. So here Srila Prabhupada writes that sex serves as the natural attraction between man and woman. When they are married, their relationship becomes more involved. Due to the entangling relationship between man and woman, there is a sense of illusion where one thinks this man is my husband or this woman is my wife. This is called Hridaya Granthi, the hard knot in the heart. This knot is very difficult to undo. Even though a man and woman separate either for the principles of Varnashrama, that means they understand that the importance of entire Varnashram, getting married, earning, having a household, the goal of entire Varnashrama is self-realization. So I should be detached, or they just fight and get a divorce. Srila Prabhupada is writing. In any case, the man always thinks of the woman and woman always thinks of the man. Thus, a person becomes materially attached to family, property, and children. And even sannyasis get attached to some property or whatever, or, in the dham. But that is not as strong as the family attachment. So attachment to family is the strongest illusion. Well, how bad is it? How bad is lust? Okay, I think I know there are many problems in this life and I cannot solve all of them. Okay, dollar is increasing, money is decreasing, whatever, stocks, this, that is happening, mutual fund is going down. Not my problem. What can I do about it? So is lust also my problem? Well, let's see what is the problem. How big is this problem? Tasmatvam indriyani niyamya bharatarshava पापमानं प्रजाहीयेनं ज्ञान विज्ञान नाशनम. Jnana Vijnana Nashanam. Therefore, O Arjuna, best of the Bharatas, in the very beginning, curb this great symbol of sin, that is lust, by regulating the senses, and slay this destroyer of Jnana and Vijnana. Jnana and Vijnana means I am reading Bhagavad Gita, I am reading Srimad Bhagavatam, I am chanting, and I have some knowledge. But if lust is unchecked, if I am not serious about understanding how risky the problem of lust is, then my theoretical knowledge will be gone. So you'll be saying, yeah, obviously, if somebody only has theoretical knowledge, then obviously the problem of lust will easily conquer that person. Okay. Then it's saying Vigyan also. That means you give classes on Srimad Bhagavatam, you give classes on Bhagavad Gita, and you have realized few things in last 3-4 years of your practice of bhakti, something you understand, all that realization also will be wiped off by lust. That much powerful it is. Okay. It can Jnana Vijnana Nashanam. It's not just surface level, even deep. If you go deep also, so that can also lust. Till what stage? Till bhava stage. The last stage in bhakti is prema, and just before prema is bhava. At that bhava stage also, there's a chance of fall down. Okay. Example is Bharat Maharaj. He got attached to a deer. A deer became deer. Okay, so deer can become deer even at bhava stage. That is the power of attachment and illusion. Jnana Vijnana Nashanam. So that's why Krishna says 3.35 it is actually. Indriyas Indriyasyendriyasyarthe ragadvesha vyavasthita tayor navashamagacche tauhi yasya paripanithino. There are principles to regulate attachment to what I like and aversion, hitting any roadblock on the path of that what I like, pertaining to sense and their objects. One should not come under the control of such attachment and aversion because they are the stumbling blocks on the path of self-realization. That is the problem. The attachment and aversion, rag and dvesha. Rag means I am attached to something. I love it. What is the problem? It is a stumbling block on the path of self-realization. So Shrutakirti Prabhu was carving Jagannath in United States, and then he went for a smoke, and he came and he was smoking cigarette, and then he put that cigarette on top of Lord Jagannath's carved deity in progress. And Prabhupada came and he saw that he's carving Jagannath, and once in a while he smokes cigarette and he puts that cigarette on top of Jagannath. Then Prabhupada said, don't let a cigarette come between you and Lord. Don't let a cigarette come between you and the Lord. Then he gave up. He gave up smoking, right? So our attachments are a stumbling block on the path of self-realization. One should understand. I was hearing His Grace Chaitanya Charan Prabhu. He says a beautiful thing actually, so that you understand this on a very practical basis. Attachment means, is very important. Attachment means that when you take any decision in your life, your decision is solely based on emotions. If your decision is solely based on emotion, then it can be an unintelligent decision. It can be a dharmic decision. Like example, Dhritarashtra. Dhritarashtra takes decisions solely on the basis of his emotional attachment to Duryodhan. And if you, on the other hand, when you have to take decisions, you think of what is the spiritual knowledge, based on that what I should do. I understand dharma, what is the right thing to do. If you have these considerations, then you should know that you are detached. You can love your family and everything, but detachment means that when you take decisions in your life, small or big, they are not based on emotions alone, so that they become adharmic. Okay, so that is detachment. Okay, so with that we will move on. This is a very heavy class. I literally picked it up from very senior brahmachari. So this is all like, I would never say things like this because I am a grahastha myself. Okay. but this is the reality. It says the relationship in this world are business. They are like business. Who's saying this? Radha Rani and the gopis are saying it in Bhramar Geet. In the Bhramar Geet, they say the friendship shown towards others in this world. Okay. What is with that? It is motivated by personal interest. And then the gopis, they are looking at this Brahma, right? So they are saying, Are, how much does the pretense of liking somebody lasts in this world? It's only until the purpose is fulfilled. If friendship is just like the interest of why do people make friends? Always there's a reason behind it. Do you make friend with any random person on the street for no reason? So I will pick some of these. So they say that students, once they are done with their education, they leave the teachers and go. The pujari who sits down to do puja for the Lord on behalf of a yajman, the moment he receives the remuneration, he receives the dakshina, he leaves the yajman and goes. The birds which go on a tree, once they are done eating the fruit, they leave the tree and go. The guests who come to your house, once they have eaten, they say, okay, we will go now. Okay. Animals leave a forest, abandon a forest that has been burned down. And finally the gopis say, Are you... So they are crying actually for Krishna, right? They are in separation from Krishna who has left. And then to the bumblebee, right? To the bumblebee, he says, Are even you are like your master only. You go to a flower. The moment you have sucked the nectar, the honey out of it, you leave that flower and go. Your master is also like that. He has left us. So, so like that in Bhramar Geet, the gopis are remembering Krishna like that. So it's such a high level, but it is pointing at the futility of the relationships which are so conditional in this world, so conditional. I was hearing His Grace Yugal Kishore Prabhu once, he was saying, and it is a fact, I mean, that the moment a person dies, we start calling him the body, the dead body. Dead body, we have to take the dead body to the ashram, to the, this thing. Dead body ko le jana hai, like that. We stop even calling that person by their name. That is how how shallow the relationships of this world are, and immediately the family starts thinking about burning that body. So that's why there's a prayer by Queen Kunti that has been quoted. Atha vishvesha, atha vishveshata vishvat, atha vishvesha vishvatman, vishvamurte swakeshu me, sneha pasham ima chindi, dridham pandusu vrishnisu. What does that mean? O Lord of the universe, O soul of the universe, O personality of the form of the universe, please therefore sever my tie of affection for my kinsmen, the Pandavas and the Vrishnis. So this is very important. What is important is that my desire for self-realization should be higher than my priority for my relationships. They do not necessarily coincide with each other. And you can have these two thoughts live in harmony with each other, because devotion makes it possible. Jnana, vairagya will not make it possible. Sannyas will not make it possible. But bhakti makes it possible to be serious about our self-realization and coexist with our family and fulfilling the duties and providing enough love to the wife and the children and everything. Okay. But the attachment, the asakti towards the family manifests in people's lives as sneha, affection. That affection only increases lust, and that blocks the prema. I didn't have this understanding. I don't have this realization. This is coming from a brahmachari, and I take his word because he was speaking from the scriptures, So, na jatu kama kamanam, न जातु काम कामनाम उपभोगे न संयति, हवीश कृष्ण वर्तमेव भूय एवाभिवर्धते. As supplying butter to a fire does not diminish the fire, but instead increases it more and more, the endeavor to stop lusty desires by continuous enjoyment can never be successful. In fact, one must voluntarily cease from material desires. So that's a very important point here, So, so then what is the solution? So I think we have spent enough time in defining the problem. Okay, so now we will slowly start moving towards the solution. Okay, so the problem is the lust. And what is the solution? So chapter 7, 2 verses come. Ichha dvesha samudhena dvanda mohena bharata. This moha, this attachment, right? Sarva bhutani sammoham sarge yanti parantapa. So first again, talking about the problem, and then the next verse has the solution. O scion of Bharat, O Arjun, O conqueror of the foe, all living entities are born into delusion. Why? Because they are bewildered by dualities arising from desire and hate. Because of the bodily conception, I, and because of the sense objects, we develop desire towards some sense objects, and we develop hate towards those which are coming in my way. Okay. Dvanda mohena bharata. That is the duality. Because we have that moha, attraction towards family, then for my family, for your family, no problem. I don't care. Okay. So this duality comes because of the bodily concept. What is the solution? Yesham tva antagata papam jananam punya karmanam te dvandva moha nirmukta bhajante mam dridhavrata. Persons who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life, and whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, are free from the dualities of delusion. So if you want to be free from the dualities of delusion, what you need to do? You need to do punya. If you do punya, that is the ray of hope. And then what they do, they engage themselves in my service with determination. Dhrada vrata. Okay. So now we will get into this solution. What is the solution of punya? So Srila Rup Goswami says there are many types of punyas. Okay. But punya means doing good for others. So doing good for others, what kind of good you want to do? You want to give them a sense object? So you can do that punya also. You can give them a sense object. Okay, you have a tongue. I'll give you a sense object of roti and, very nice this thing. So if it is prasad, it is good. But if it is not prasad, then you are just feeding somebody's senses to sense objects, pushing them further in illusion of that very problem that we are talking about. So what is that punya? What is that good you can do for others, which will benefit you and will benefit others also? So Bhagavatam answers that. Shinvatam swakatha Krishna punya shravana kirtana hridyantastho hi abhadrani vidhunoti sruhratsatam nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki tada rajastamo bhava kamalobhadayascha ye cheta eter anavidham sthitam sattve prasidati. So rag, attachment, happens towards things that I hanker for, and the things that a jivatma hankers for is rasa only. We want rasa, we want darshan rasa, we want sparsh rasa. Okay, and we are seeking this rasa only. And what is vairagya? So vairagya is important. Actually, if somebody would ask Prabhupada that what is Krishna consciousness, then Prabhupada would say it's vairagya vidya only. Madhya Leela 6.254 talks about vairagya vidya, understanding what is the right way to become detached to this world. And the real detachment to this world is attachment to Krishna, right? So how will that happen? That will happen because of the higher taste. So we are looking for the rasa, but what we can do is Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehena rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. By experiencing a higher taste, one can be fixed in consciousness, higher consciousness. And what is that? That is Shravan and Kirtan. This Shravan and Kirtan is considered by Srila Rup Goswami as the highest and the best punya. So you come every day to this Srimad Bhagavatam session and you are eager to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. This eagerness will take you back home, back to Godhead. This is the solution. Okay. How it will happen? It will happen over a period of time. So how will you taste that rasa? I read Srimad Bhagavatam, but I am not getting that taste. So how it will happen? Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. But how? Nigama kalpataror galitam phalam shukamukhadam ritadrava samyutam pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam muhur aho rasika bhuvi bhavuka. Who can taste this higher rasa? Those who are rasika and who are bhavuka. Okay, who take great eagerness in hearing, and sometimes reading. You are taking association of Srila Prabhupada, but if you are not able to take the association of Srila Prabhupada by simply reading, then you read it or hear it from the mukha of devotees like Shukdev Goswami, who are rasika, who take great joy in talking about Srimad Bhagavatam. When you hear from a person who takes great eagerness in spiritual subject, then that eagerness rubs off on you. And when that happens, then my intensity and my eagerness to hear Srimad Bhagavatam increases. Okay. So that is the secret of relishing Srimad Bhagavatam, hearing it from the devotees who have this rasa. And then what? It does not just stop there. Mat chitta madgata prana bodhayanta parasparam kathayantascha mam nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. A very important part of experiencing the rasa is discussing with the devotees. Discussing with the devotees. When you discuss this subject matter with the devotees, then you enjoy, then you relish, then you experience the rasa when the gyan becomes vigyan for you. When you develop attachment towards conversing about the Lord, it's not just sitting in the class, it's not just reading the book, but I'm eagerly waiting to meet that devotee outside the classroom setting, so that I can discuss the subject that I have been thinking about, and they also discuss back with me. They share their realizations, I share mine. We are able to synchronize our energies beyond that false ego of I know better than him, or oh, what does he know? Or he knows I know nothing. Beyond these two, it's not about you and me. It's not about aham and tvam, like Srila Prabhupada is saying in the purport. When it is about Krishna, then the focus should be on Krishna. It doesn't matter whether I shared or you shared, because my focus is on remembering Krishna. I say something, I remember Krishna, or you say and I remember Krishna. Okay. So that is how the rasa can be experienced. So I'm winding up. The next two shlokas that come in this series of the shlokas that we saw, which are glorifying Srimad Bhagavatam, is evam prasanna manaso bhagavad bhakti yogata bhagavad tattva vijnanam mukta sangasya jayate bhidyate hridaya granthis chidyante sarva samsaya kshiyante chasya karmani drishta evatmanishware. What is this verse saying? It is saying that thus established in the mode of unalloyed goodness, the man whose mind has been enlivened by the contact with devotional service of Shravan and Kirtan to the Lord gains positive scientific knowledge, Bhagavad Tattva Vijnanam, realization, and not just some spiritual realization, but the Bhagavad Tattva Vijnanam. And in that stage, that is the stage of liberation from all material association. One who does not have interest in Shravan and Kirtan, his mind won't be fixed in understanding the Bhagavad Tattva Vigyan. They will be engrossed and engulfed in the duality of mine and yours only. Once again, I'll say, one who does not have interest in Shravan and Kirtan, in hearing and speaking the topics of Krishna from Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, his mind won't be fixed in understanding Bhagavad Tattva Vigyan. They will be engrossed in duality of mine and yours only. So what happens when you hear Bhidyate Hridaya Granthis? The knot in the heart is pierced. It's pierced, and all misgivings are cut to pieces. The chain of fruitive actions is terminated when one sees Krishna as the master. Okay. So, whatever we stress upon, that becomes stronger in our mind. The mind's memory is extremely volatile. So, if you hear something just for once in your life, and if you do not understand the importance of it, and if you don't have a controlled mind, you will forget it irrespective of how much you may have valued it at that point of time. Like today, I can sit here and say that I am thoroughly convinced that Srimad Bhagavatam, hearing and reading Srimad Bhagavatam is the best thing to do. But if I don't put it in practice, if I don't do Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya, then this heaviest of knowledge that I'm accepting is the highest thing I have ever heard will just evaporate from my mind in no time. It will just evaporate from my mind because my mind is not fixed yet. The more the mind is fixed, the better is the retention of important information. Until that happens, until nishtha comes, until that, attachment to and eagerness to hear comes, we have to do Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya. And once you do Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya and you start relishing, then what do? You do Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya. Okay. So, so that's why the chain of fruitive action is terminated when one sees Krishna as the master, not just knowing Krishna as the master, not that I've been hearing Krishna as the master from last 10 years, but throughout my day, I can remember Krishna, I can be absorbed in Krishna. Doesn't mean that if I'm doing financial accounting work and there's an Excel sheet in front of me, I'm doing numbers. At that time, I'm thinking of Krishna and all the numbers are wrong. Not like that. When I'm engaged in my karma, I know that I have to be focused here because I'm doing it for Krishna. Because Krishna wants me to do yoga karma sukashalam. Right? So with that, I'm just left with the last topic to sum it up and go back to the topic where we had started. Although this is the sum and substance of this, Hridaya Granthi that we talked about indicates that one's heart is bound to illusion by false identification with the material body. One thus becomes absorbed in material sex pleasure, dreaming of innumerable combinations of male and female body. A person intoxicated by sex attraction cannot understand that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the reservoir of all pleasure and supreme enjoyer. This is what Srila Prabhupada writes in that in that purport. So with that, I'll come back to the 17th chapter. A topic starts which culminates the entire Bhagavad Gita in this last few points, where it is talking about karma. What should a person do? Om Tat Sat iti nirdesho brahmanastri vidhasmrta brahmanastena vedascha yajnascha vihita pura. Om Tat Sat indicates the absolute truth. Yajna. What is yajna? Karma causes bondage. Karma causes bondage, karma bandhan prayasyasi. So what should we do? We should do our activities as yajna. That means for the satisfaction of Lord Vishnu. With that consciousness, if we do, that is yajna. Then dan and tapasya, charity and austerity should also be done for the pleasure of Lord Vishnu. So chapter 18, 5th verse, Krishna says that yajna, dan, tapasya, in my opinion, should never be stopped. Yajna, dan, tapasya should never be stopped. So performance of these three should always begin with Om. Why? Because Om is the sound incarnation of Krishna. Next verse, he says, Tat refers to remembering that everything belongs to Lord, object or person, separate energy or marginal energy. So, by the performance of my work, I don't want anything. I'm doing it only for the satisfaction of Lord Vishnu, that is yajna. By doing dan, I don't want anything. I'm doing it because Lord Vishnu has said that yajna, dan, tapasya should never stop. I will take great pains, not so that I can become doctor one day. No, because this is the mark, this is the path that Lord Vishnu has shown to me, and I will do all the hard work that is needed so that I'm doing my job. Lord Vishnu be satisfied. Even if it means I'll have to get up in the middle of the night to perform something that I know is supposed to be done. That yajna, dan, tapasya is not for my material gain. That is what tat refers to. That. And final, sat refers to the absolute truth, that it is the object, the absolute truth is the object of devotional sacrifice, and it is indicated by the word sat. If somebody does not do any activity without remembering what I just said here, as in Krishna said here, that it should be done with this Om Tat Sat in mind, all those efforts should be considered asat only. Asat means they will have no effect after some time. So I'm ending over here. Summary, we started with conversation between Kuvera and Dhruva. Kuvera says, mine and yours come due to bodily conception of life. So then we got into understanding me, you, and that from material perspective and spiritual perspective. Then we looked at the problem of bodily identification. What is the problem if I see myself as the body? It is the lust. and that lust can destroy even Gyan and Vigyan. So we were looking for love, but we are caught in lust. How bad is lust? It can destroy Vigyan also. So what is the solution towards lust? Actually, Janma Karma Cha Me Divyam, Krishna says, right? Actually, Janma Karma Cha Me Divyam. One who knows and hears about the births and activities of Krishna, right? That burns the lust. And so in chapter 7, Krishna says this in other words, that Punya, one who is pious, one who is selfless, for them, the dvanda will be destroyed, the duality will be destroyed, because duality comes from that self-centeredness. Duality comes because of the self-centeredness. The moment there is an agenda, a desire, I want, then dvanda, duality will come. So, what is the best punya? We saw Shravan and Kirtan. Then we saw the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam as the solution to this problem. All the problems that we saw, everything was covered in those 5 verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. It will destroy Hridaya Granthi, it will destroy the moha, it will destroy the dvandva, it will give you the higher taste that you are looking for. Everything will come from Srimad Bhagavatam. And then we saw that all the activities that we do, we should do it with the consciousness Om Tat Sat. With that, I will stop here. Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandat pranams, Prabhuji. Very wonderful class, Prabhuji. And is it okay to ask questions? Take questions, Prabhuji?
Yes.
Hare. Yes, Sunila Mataji, you can ask Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, in this class, you told us like, Om, that is the Tat and Aham, Twam, and then Tattvam. And you said absolute truth is object. So with this shloka, Prabhuji, how to understand that Bhagavatam shloka 1.2.11, that is Vadanti Tat Tattva Vidas Tattvam. And in that shloka, absolute truth is non-dual. They say subject and object is both absolute truth. So how to understand that, Prabhuji?
Yeah. So see, Vishay, there is a Vishay of this world, which is called object, which is the sense object. And then there is Vishay Vigraha Bhagwan. Vishay Vigraha Bhagwan means object of worship. Who is that? Krishna. Krishna is called Vishay Vigraha Bhagwan. He is the object of worship. And to understand that absolute truth, you will understand that tattva, that tattva is non-dual in nature. And what is that tattva? Brahma iti, Paramatma iti, Bhagwan iti shabdyate. In that purport, Krishna writes that when you try to understand the absolute truth, you realize there's nothing material about it. There's nothing dual about it. It's absolute in nature. And the last word in the understanding of absolute truth is Vishay Vigraha Bhagwan. Okay. So, by nature, we have a habit of meditating on Vishay only. The problem is that because we got disconnected with the higher taste of relishing the rasa coming to us from Vishay Vigraha Bhagwan, we have got into Dhyayato Vishaya Pumsam of this dead matter. Does that make sense, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. In that Tattvam, you said Tattvam.
Oh, that Tattvam is referring to
Tattvam.
absolute truth only. How to understand Vadanti Tat Tattva Vedas, right?
So Brahmavadis, Mayavadis say that Tattvam. So you are that. Isn't it, Prabhuji? That you are that. Tattvam.
Tattvam. So Vadanti Tat Tattva Vedas is a partial. So Tattvamasi is a partial understanding. It is not a wrong understanding. Tattvamasi is correct. Tattvamasi is correct. How it is correct? It is correct because let's say a person is born in America. So he is standing in US. Then we will say he is an American and everything about that is true. But is he the American president? He need not be. And if he is standing next to Donald Trump, we will say he's an American, but he is the president of America also. So what happens with the spiritual subjects is that sometimes spirituality is defined as just one big cloud, one big blob, and it is said Tattvamasi. You are spiritual. So that is true. Tattvamasi, you are spiritual. Okay. But within that spiritual cloud, again, now there is America is not just one big land, mass of land, and everybody is just standing over there. It is divided into hundreds of other lokas and planets. And there is a boss of that loka, of that spiritual world. So when we say Tattvamasi, it is absolutely correct. We are spiritual. But are you the boss of that entire spirituality? That need not be true. If it is Krishna, only then that Tattvamasi is also accompanied by Tattvam Brahma, right? Param Brahma Asi. That means you are the Param Brahma Krishna, like Arjuna says in his prayers, right? You are not only spiritual, you are the boss of that entire existence and this existence. Okay. So, so that's why Tattvamasi is not wrong. It is incomplete because it is only taking you till America. If you go to book a ticket to America, they will say, boss, there is no place called America. You need to buy a specific ticket to some place. Like you say in New York, or you say Detroit, or you say Florida. They are thousands of miles apart from each other. You see the point? So, Tattvamasi is correct. You are American, you are going to America. But you cannot go to America. You will have to go to some specific place. That specific things bring further bifurcations into a very general statement of Tattvamasi. That no, but beyond that, you are this. So that qualifies it. Right? Makes sense to
This
some
word,
extent?
this word shouldn't be used to demigods, Prabhuji, isn't it, Prabhuji?
Sorry?
Like, it is this word, Tattvamasi. Can they be used to, that word can be used to demigod, like,
Not in a specific manner, in a general manner, yes. Like in general manner, you can call it for this Gomutra bottle also, Tattvamasi. This is Brahma, this is divine. Yes, it is divine.
Because I've seen people saying that Tattvamasi means we are also getting moksha. When we worship some particular demigod, we are also getting moksha based on that word, Tattvamasi.
The only person who can provide liberation among the demigods is Lord Shiva. And he does that when he wants to cheat someone. Other demigods, because he's Shambhu Tattva. Other demigods, they themselves are conditioned, so they cannot provide moksha to anybody. So Tattvamasi can become a vehicle by which somebody can go out of this universe, yes, but by the power of demigods, no. The demigods can assist like any other Vaishnava is assisting me. What are demigods? Demigods are also Vaishnavas only, and they are more pure than me. I am also Vaishnava, aspiring Vaishnava. They are a Vaishnava who are already in service of the Lord. So they can help a person just like any other devotee is helping. Okay. The Srila Prabhupada, for so many devotees, he said that that person went back home, back to Godhead. Now, they did not follow the process of ISKCON for 10, 20, 30, 40 years or served Srila Prabhupada, right? But they went back home, back to Godhead because they were helped by some aspect of Krishna consciousness because of which they were able to perfect their lives. That can happen even through the Devatas, yes. But the main reason of going back home, back to Godhead could be serving a Vaishnava in that sense. Yes, he served the Vaishnava very nicely, but in general, the mercy of the Lord should come through a pure devotee. If that doesn't happen, then simply by worshipping a demigod in the pretext of Tattvamasi, one cannot go back home, back to Godhead. That's my understanding, Mataji.
Okay, Prabhuji, thank you for explaining. It's so confusing. So confusing.
Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Because I've seen Prabhuji in front of that temple that is written in a demigod temple. But the thing is, I have not seen that Tattvamasi in Krishna temple.
Yeah. So
I have not seen that.
I would just say one last thing on this. There is Shraddha and there is Gyan. Shraddha, almost everyone has. Gyan, almost no one has. But it is important. The Gyan is important. If you have Shraddha, in that person, in that personality, try to read what that personality is saying. 99% of the temples in India, except ISKCON, they have zero interest in what that personality is saying. They worship Lord Ganesha or Parvati or Durga, but they have no interest in actually spending even 1 month to go search for a scripture that has been written by that demigod and read. If they will do that, they will find that there's not even one single demigod who's not a Vaishnava. Every demigod is a Vaishnava. every demigod.
Yes.
Right? So there's a difference between Shraddha and Gyan. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Padma Mataji, you can ask Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. My throat is not good, so you'll have to excuse me.
Sorry to hear.
I have a very bad throat, Prabhuji. Just one small clarification I want to know. This word Om Tat Sat,
Yes.
it means for Krishna's pleasure, right? So now when we give anything in charity to anybody, because what I heard in a lecture was you can just say Om Tat Sat and give it. Am I right? Ji?
Yes, yes, it should be done.
Anything.
Yes, anything you do should be should start with Om Tat Sat and should end with Om Tat Sat to remind yourself again and again that I'm doing it for the pleasure of the Lord.
That means even if when we offer something to Krishna, then also we should start with Om Tat Sat.
No. So,
No.
so
Yeah.
this is the difference between the Karma Kanda Marg and the Bhakti Marg, right? So in Bhakti Marg, you are trying to it doesn't matter to us. It doesn't matter to us where I am. I'm in spiritual world and I'm offering something for the pleasure of Krishna. I'm in material world, but if I am in front of the deity of the Lord, offering something for his pleasure, then it doesn't matter. Okay, so there are primary names of Krishna and there are secondary names of Krishna. And Om, the sound vibration, Paramatma, the sound vibration, Paramatma, the super soul, these are considered secondary names of Krishna. Why? Because they refer to his incarnations which have specifically appeared in this material world to take care of the material world. When you are doing bhakti, there is no karma or jnana involved in that. Okay, so Om Tat Sat are usually done for Yajna, Dan and Tapasya. By definition, Yajna, Dan and Tapasya, all these three things belongs to this material world only. So when the activities of this material world are done, then there is an important reason. It's very important to remind ourselves that even though I'm doing something that belongs to this world, I'm doing it because there is Lord Vishnu sitting on top, and I want to remind myself that I want to satisfy him. Okay, I'm making a pizza. Krishna doesn't like pizza. I like pizza, but I have to make this a yajna. So I have to remember myself that I'm doing this for Lord Vishnu, so he may be pleased, and then I enjoy that. Okay, that is yajna dan tapasya. So in that Om Tat Sat should be pronounced. When you are doing bhakti, your entire focus is that I want to please Krishna. So in bhakti, Om Tat Sat, reciting Om Tat Sat is not required.
Okay. Okay, Prabhuji, thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Shobha Mataji, you can ask Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, like you said that our expectations, then lust we get, and then we get growth when we don't get those things. So, but Prabhuji, there are a lot of emotions related to our grahastha life, related to children or spouses. So, but even Krishna says in 2.14 again that you should tolerate everything. So there, Prabhuji, I am confused, like how can we manage our expectations as well as should we tolerate those expectations without fulfilling them? We do expect various things from our family members when we are doing something for them. So then lust arises, Prabhuji. Expectations never come alone. They have lust with them. So there I wanted to understand, Prabhuji, how do we deal with them then? Because a lot of emotions are there in family life and we cannot do things like I'm only doing these things to make Krishna happy. I do that, but then expectation is that they should also think like that. They should also do for me. So there, how should we tolerate that, Prabhuji? What should I tell my mind that time when anger is coming because someone is not fulfilling my expectations now in return?
For you asked multitude of questions, and for all of them, what will happen is that through gradual processing in your mind, you will have to understand that your only shelter is Krishna and your ultimate goal of this existence is achieving self-realization, and your faith in Krishna should increase. So Krishna says, Bhoktaram yagya tapasam sarva loka maheshwaram. Whatever efforts you do, whatever pains you take, when you are doing that, when you are taking pain in getting up at 3:30 a.m. in the morning and doing hundreds of things, cooking food or whatever, it is very easy to give, Bhagavatam class and sit and talk about what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Okay. Because there's no pain. Pain can be spoken about without experiencing the pain. But the one who does the austerity, who takes the pain of getting up early in the morning, doing hundreds of things for that person, simply telling them that, remind yourself that you are doing it for Krishna is not easy. It's totally acceptable point. But with practice and with the frustration that the material world will give you anyways, it will still give you that. Even if your family was like Vaikuntha and they reciprocate with you, still then there is Adi Davik and Adhyatmik kleshas. So the frustration of the material world will not go away, and that the frustration of the material world will remind you again and again that Bhoktaram Yagya Tapasam Sarva Loka Maheshwaram, that all the austerities you do, all the pains you do it for one CEO, one boss of all the companies and of all the households, and that is Krishna. And either he will reward you by making your family follow you, or giving you a promotion in your work, or none of this, and actually giving you progress on the spiritual path. And out of all three, if you trust me, spiritual path progress is the highest and the best, because it is Sat, it is permanent. In this life, you will have a very helping family. Next life, you may not have a helping family. Right? This life, you may get 13 promotions, which will increase your salary 13 times. Next life, you may not have it. But if you make spiritual progress, it will be permanent. So that's why every pain that I take, every time it pains my heart, I should immediately be reminded of Krishna, that Krishna, I'm ready to take any pain for you. Even if it means that I'll have to get up early, I'll do hundreds of things for my husband, for my children, but they may not return that favor back to me, because their perspective towards life is as messed up as anybody else's. Everybody is mad only in this world. But we are mad in different things, and we understand different things. A wife understands the importance of household, man understands the importance of money. Okay. So that's why man sees the world in a different way, and he says that, why do I need to clean the bathroom on Saturdays and Sundays? And wife would say, how can you keep the home so dirty? Okay. So even our values, our definition of and priorities of good and bad are different. It is very difficult to harmonize the male energy and the female energy. Okay. So Bhoktaram Yagya Tapasam Sarva Loka Maheshwaram Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam. I care for this child. I care for his self-realization. I care for that he should become a responsible citizen. I care that he should grow up to become a successful person who makes good money, at least decent money. I wish that he gets into bhakti. Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam. Krishna is the well-wisher of every living entity, and he knows the secrets of their minds that you also don't know. So no matter how much you think you are trying to help them, at any point of time, before this lifetime and after this lifetime, Krishna will be caring about how that person can come back to me better than any parent. The moment we understand that, it helps us to know that Krishna is on my side. Okay. And many a times what happens is that when I pray to Krishna, I also pray that how solution should come. Okay, my son is not well. Okay, maybe the solution is he should hear Harinam and take prasad, and that way it will go away. But a doctor does not believe in that. He does not have faith in the prasad. He has faith in medicine only. He will say the solution must come by the medicine I am giving.
Yeah,
Okay, so sometimes our expectations that how should a solution come is also there. We just don't want Krishna to solve our problem. We also want that you should solve it in this way. That may not happen. Krishna may solve it in some other way, you know. So in everything that I said, it is just a different degree of surrender to Krishna only. A different degree of surrender to Krishna only, and reaching this realization. It's very easy to say, Sarva Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam. Krishna is there to take care. Krishna is there to take care. The medium of taking care of your parent, of children, is parent only. So, so you are in such a difficult situation that you are the person, you are the medium through which Krishna will take care of that child. But you have to remember that whether that child, what will happen to him, that outcome is not in your hands. Karmanyavadhikaraste mahaphaleshu kadachana. You have the right to take care of your child, but whether the child will grow up as per what you think is not in your hands. What will you do? This is a fact. The fact of life. So what can I do? I can give my 110%. That's all I can do. Right? And that is where I should stop. Understanding that after giving my best, whatever I am doing, whatever is going to happen, you cannot do anything about it, right? So what is that verse? Hridavag vapur vidadhan namaste jivet mukteyo padesa.
Tattenukampam susamiksham.
Right? So our situation is that we understand whatever is happening in my life. Some people, I have seen astrologer, they will say, or like augur vidya and all that, whatnot. They will say, last life your children troubled you, this life also your children will trouble you. What can this person do? Chant Hare Krishna, bhunjante to agam papa ye pachante atma karna. There it is written that if you eat prasad, then the sins are destroyed. The devotees of the Lord are free from the reaction of all sins because they eat only Krishna prasad and burn their sins. So if I am eating prasad and my children are eating prasad, then definitely the abhadra that I have gathered over the lives will burn down because of eating prasad. So things will get better. With that hope in Krishna, I will try to do that. Expectations are, it's very easy to say that you have to give expectations, but what to do? Expectations are there, right? And we have to just make sure that we become stronger. We become stronger. That's what we can do. Ekadashi makes us stronger, right? Ekadashi makes us stronger. If wife will not have expectation from husbands, then whom will she have expectations? So you expect and you tell and you express that expectation. Okay. There's no problem in that. There's no problem in expectations in that sense. Okay. But we should in parallel keep increasing the priority of self-realization in my life. That is more important than anything else. When that happens, prajalpa goes away. When that happens, lamentation goes away. When that happens, then you do not care about sitting and hankering or lamenting. Past, this thing happened, now I'm not able to get this out of my mind. Every day I'm just thinking about something that happened 2 years ago. What's the use of that? Right? So lamentation will not give you anything. That is what Krishna is telling continuously to Arjuna. So the problems usually are hankering and lamenting, nothing else. Worrying about the past or worrying about the future. The more one becomes Krishna conscious, the more focused we are in our chanting, and the more we understand what has to be done now. That's it. What should be done now? Then if there is some serious problem, then you again contemplate after 2-3 days. That will save you from a lot of anger also. Most of the problems happen because we want to do something right now which is anartha. Lust, anger, greed, pride, envy right now. So delay it. Delay the judgment part. What should be done right now? Let's do it. After 3 days, we sit down. I am also calm. Other person is also calm. Okay, 3 days ago, this happened. I'm still not happy about it. What should be done? This is contemplation. This is proper. So sthita dhir muni rachyate.
Correct, because exactly like you said, we try to give Krishna our solutions also, and then another thing is right now I want the solution that part comes, and when it's not solved, it a lot of frustration arises, Prabhuji, with that. And then there is some another contemplation comes that what I am doing in Krishna consciousness will, when I'm not still free of all these things. So that things come, Prabhuji, in my mind. That's why I was asking. Another, Prabhuji, once we are told that Trinadapi Suni Chena, there we are told by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that we should tolerate everything. And then this story comes where a snake is told by Narad Muni that you don't need to bite, but at least you need to show them your fangs. So how much should we tolerate there, and how much should we retaliate there, Prabhuji? We are, I am stuck. Every time it happens, I'm stuck that I should tolerate. There is mind, one mind says tolerate, another says no, just retaliate. So how should we distinguish between those, Prabhuji?
No, see, tolerate what we tolerate things that are not in our hands, okay, and which have happened. But retaliation, how you are retaliating? Sometimes other person is 100% wrong, okay, but you go and you make such a big scene that everybody is saying now that you are the only problem. The person who did wrong gets away because they were quiet, and your behavior was so bad, you yelled and screamed and cried, that suddenly for everybody you are the problem. So retaliation in itself is not a problem, or reporting in itself is not a problem. When it is mixed with emotion, that emotion is a problem. Okay, and that's why delaying thing becomes somewhat easy if it is possible. So because you may have the best thing to say, but if you don't have control on your anger, you will not say it in the right way. So best is to let your anger subside by thinking about Krishna, let it go, do whatever is the right thing to do, and come back in that relationship after some time when your anger is subsided, and then in a very plain voice, hold the person responsible. Hold the person responsible for that, okay, this is my understanding. I felt that this was not good. What is your opinion? So I'm not hitting your false ego. I'm not, I'm not the one who's creating trouble. I just want answers. And everybody has the right to question. There is nobody in this world whose right to question has been taken away. Every person in this world has a right to ask anything that they did not feel was correct. They are entitled to know the answers. Okay, be it a citizen, or be it a wife, or be it a devotee in a devotee community. Okay, so the retaliation part needs to be just polished, right? So that is the word. In devotional circles, that's why devotional service brings purity, because you have to remind yourselves again and again that in devotional service, whatever we do in devotional service, devotional circle, we do it for the pleasure of Krishna. So I want this halwa to have strawberries in it. Is it for pleasure? And the other person is saying, no, I don't want to put strawberries. I will put blueberries only. No strawberries, no blue. How can you say it like this? Okay. What is for Krishna's pleasure? Why do you think that strawberries should be put for Krishna's pleasure? If the other devotee is saying that blueberries should be put, Krishna will be happy with you if you accept what the other person is saying. So it is a very different ball game if it comes to relationships where the expectations are high, because the responsibility, accountability, everything is there. But when it comes to devotional circles, you are not the beneficiary. There is no dharma, swadharma there. There is no my choice. So you have to bow down sometimes to other person's choice. But if there's a problem in the policy, how something should be done, then okay, right now you cannot yell in front of the deities. 32 type of offenses towards deity. One is you should not fight in front of the deities. So you do whatever is needed in front of the deity at that time. You go from there. After 3 days, you discuss with that devotee that the way this was done, I am so disturbed because of that. Let's discuss. That is how we can do it with sadachar. I think in one of these forums only I talked about sadachar. The problem in relationships is not the content. It is sadachar only, the behavior only.
Correctly said, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for this. Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranams, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Correct.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for the wonderful answers and takeaway points, Prabhuji, which we all need, Prabhuji. Not only Shobha Mataji's question, it's all our questions and problems. So, thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Mataji's, Prabhuji's. Dandavat pranam.
Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha.
पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः
पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनंत कोटि वैष्णवेंद्र की जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय कृतराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय थैंक यू सो मच प्रभु जी
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण
Hare